We'll be live in just a second. Good morning.
Great morning.
I was
How you
bouncing
doing,
in
love?
this morning, Brandon.
There you go, wearing the pimping. I see you. Welcome
Yeah.
everybody. Welcome everybody. This is our 20th show, our 20th consecutive show. I like number 20. That's a big number for us. So 20 consecutive straight days we have been here, same time, same place in this season pie. Me, your co-host, and your beautiful main host, the Butterfly, who Dan rocked with us today. And for everybody else that comes in every morning, we appreciate you. And as you guys pop in, let us know where you're from, who you, and how your morning's going so far, and what expectation you might have for the day. Anything you want to drop down in the chat, please let us know. We are here in celebration of Black History Month 2024. This
Hey,
is
Brandon.
not
Are
just
you
a
on the?
yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, are you on the right wave? Because I see you're freezing a little bit.
You know,
Huh? I
my
kind
internet
of
is
figured
all.
that.
Let me make sure my
Huh?
internet is all good. I said I'm gonna make sure my
Yeah.
internet is all good.
Because it was much better after
How's
we
that?
did the tweaking. Thank y'all for rocking with us because it's been a little choppy,
Yeah,
but y'all still stayed. We think we've corrected that problem, but I wanted to make sure Brandon was on the right, whatever you call that stuff.
yeah. How's it now? Everything look good?
Much better. I
Much
have to
better.
remind you.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
no, it's not me. That's me. So I'm gonna start over. Welcome everybody to the End of Season podcast with me, B, your co-host and your main host, the beautiful. Which way is it? This way, Tammy, the butterfly, who danced in today with us this morning, starting the vibe on a
Yeah.
high note.
Gangster.
Thank y'all for rocking with us. Thank y'all again. This is our 20th day. This is our 20th day celebrating and acknowledging not only Black History Month, but each other. This not just the occasion, but the bringing of us coming together every single day. Every single day. I really appreciate this. What we're doing in this celebration of Black History Month is going through the book Daily Motivations for African American Success, from the best-selling author Dennis Kimbro. You guys see that right there. My book's a little old and battered because I've had it a couple years, and every single year since I've had this book, I read this book. Now, I'm not going to say that I've been as consistent with this book in previous years as I am right now, but I can say that every time I picked it up, it gave me something that lasted me a lifetime, which gets me to giving you a quick synopsis of the book if you haven't gotten it, or if this is your first time. Daily Motivations for African American Success will help you focus on thoughts, attitudes, and the deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. So, in 365 short but powerful motivations, there's one for each day of the year. Dennis Kimbro, who's the author of the popular book Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. So each motivation begins with words of wisdom from distinguished and celebrated African Americans. I mean, everyone from Malcolm X to Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt. I mean, the list goes on and on. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every single day. But what it teaches you will last a lifetime. So thank you guys so much. At the end of every single one of these passages, there's an affirmation that we read 3 times for people to carry on throughout their day. And I hope you share not only this podcast, but at least the information, at least the affirmation, at least the inspiration, at least the motivation. So, and you can do that without sharing the exact story. You can do that just by internalizing what's being read here every day and going out into the world with that same light. So that's a brief introduction. I want to look at the chat and see who's all coming in with us. We got Brenda Davis,
She
Ernest.
got the book. She
Yeah,
got
you got the
the
book.
book. Yay, Brenda.
Oh my goodness, thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you,
You
Miss
thank you,
Brenda.
right? That's just like yesterday. You gotta
Yes,
high five
yes,
yourself right there.
yes. I should have known she'd be one of the ones.
Mm, that's
Oh
incredible. Thank you,
wow.
guys. So
Brenda
so we
been rocking with us for a while. I so appreciate you. I so
yeah.
appreciate you. You got to come on over to and do Soul Sisters with us. Dr. Hunt is in there as well. Good morning. So thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Thank y'all for
Dr.
riding with us so much. Some of our consistent people, and as the people come in on my Instagram live, um, again, guys, like I can't thank you guys enough. And I know y'all are here to be poured into. And it's interesting, like how we are now. It's like I feel like it's one of those fountains where one fountain pours into another fountain, and that fountain pours into four other little cups and four other more cups. So I think this is just something that keeps on growing and going. And I appreciate you all being a link in that chain of transmission. So thank you so much. Mom, how was your yesterday and how was your morning? What's going on with you?
Oh.
Did I hit you too quick with it? Did I hit you too quick?
Y'all, the butterfly is going through something. She's just going through something. Y'all keep me in your prayers. I'm
Growing
just
through
going
you
through.
growing you growing you growing through what now?
I'm growing through something.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I'll just make sure I
I,
heard that.
I said going, didn't
Oh
I?
yeah, I didn't
Thank
know.
you for
Yeah,
correcting me,
I'm just
daily
I'm just
motivator. Yeah, I am. I am. So, but it will be okay. I have to make some difficult decisions, and I will be okay. So I am growing through this. So yeah, but I'm good. I still try to, as best I could, apply some of the things that I've gotten from here, from this book, and us coming together. But I'll be honest. The other Tammy almost won. Like I'm battling. I'm battling. I'm just battling some things. So keep me in your prayers, okay? And I'll leave it at that because this is only going to be 30 minutes today.
sounds good. I understand as well. I had a couple great opportunities yesterday, and then I was notified of a couple things. Um, I'll say socio-politically within various communities that I was shocked by. But like you said, it's all gonna be okay. Everything is good, of course, but it's just some dynamics that I didn't realize were at play, that are which is great and which will always be overcome. I'm doing a lot right now. I'm studying different Dr. King's book. I'm studying Where Do We Go From Here by Dr. King, his last book written in 1967. I'm looking at Donald Phillips' study of Dr. King's leadership style. So I'm instead of just shooting from the hip on a lot of the issues, whether it be social justice or whether it be family or whatever, I'm doing better about studying before I press forward. So seeking good counsel, seeking good advice. And so that was most of my yesterday, and I'll be doing some more of that today. So without further ado, Mom, if you don't
Can
have
I say
anything else,
something really
yeah.
quick? Because it's interesting because I found myself yesterday, and I got this from. It's funny because how you and Paul kind of connected over the Mayor Paul Young had connected
Oh
over
yeah,
the last week. It's
yeah.
interesting because I think I mentioned Pastor Young, his father, something I had gotten from him, something he said.
Mhm.
But then yesterday, I found myself saying something that I got from his mom.
Diane.
Woe, it's me. Woe, it's me. And I remember a friend and I, a long time ago, we got up every morning for a full year and we did 6 a.m. prayer at New Direction when they were doing it.
Hmm.
And for a very long time, that's all I would kneel down and say every day. Woe, it's me, God. Woe, it's me. Meaning fix me. Woe, it's me in every situation. But yesterday I found myself saying that. Like, and it's funny how long that's been, you guys, because it was Malcolm and Najee's mom, Melissa. I don't
Hmm.
know if you remember that. You were
Yeah,
sixth, seventh
yeah.
grade when we did that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so I found myself, and you can imagine how long that's been. Yesterday, I needed it. I needed to say, "Whoa, it's you, Tammy." Even though in some cases I'm not sure, But how I was feeling and how I wanted to react was me. And so I said, "Woe, it's me. Woe, it's me. Come back, center, come back." So I just thought that was interesting, as
Yeah.
you know, as to where I got it from. So
Yes, it's a lot. It's a lot going on. I'm literally being called on from different countries, from Bangladesh to Australia to Turkey. It's very interesting. So I'm trying to make sure that um that any and everything that I do feeds me and my family as well, because knowledge is people will tap into your knowledge. You got to make sure that you got to know when to say yes and when to say no, as the book says. So
amen, amen,
so
amen to that.
I'm enjoying that process, and I'm enjoying the discernment and the self-awareness that I'm getting from this daily motivation, this daily search for self-awareness and consciousness, and the ability to know when to say yes, know when to say no. So without pushing it too long, y'all, I want to jump into today's passage. It is again the 20th day. Yesterday's title was High Five. So I spent a lot of the day yesterday um, kind of acknowledging some of the great things that I've done in my life, and just specifically over the past week or two. And not all of those things are things that are external. Some of those celebrations that I had were internal, like, oh man, I caught myself here, or I saw, you know, this challenge a mile away and was able to prepare for it before I reached to that point. And it's just changed my life, more so now that we're doing this together, and I'm more intentional about my self-assessment. um I am noticing the changes in the maturation of my own masculinity, of my own ability. So all that to say that let's jump right into it. On this 20th day, the title is, when will it ever end? When will it ever end? And our quote for today is from Josephine Baker, who's an actress, dancer, and
Mhm.
entertainer. Y'all know Josephine Baker?
Yeah.
All right, all right. So her quote is, the secret to the fountain of youth is to think youthful thoughts. The secret to the fountain of youth is to think youthful thoughts. And you know, Iman, that reminds me of a study I read, but I ain't gonna get into the Google mess right now.
Okay.
But let's go right into it, into the passage.
Yeah.
Creativity is one of the characteristics of infinite intelligence. Actuarial tables seem to confirm that high achievers have an innate need to be more creative. As a group, creative men and women, research scientists, inventors, painters, writers, and philosophers not only live longer, but also remain productive longer than their non creative counterparts. For example, A.G. Gaston is still negotiating business deals. He's 100 years old. At 78, T.M. Alexander is still selling life insurance. At 75, Dr. Selma Burke completed the requirements for her PhD. In a teaching career that spans more than 80 years, John Morton Finney earned his fourth bachelor's degree at 75. At 82, Dorothy Height still voices the cause of Black women's rights. Edward Kennedy Duke Ellington, one of the most respected figures in the history of jazz, gave one of his finest recitals at New York's Carnegie Hall at the age of 75. Benjamin E. Mays, a man who received 51 honorary degrees in his lifetime, wow, gave his most meaningful lectures while in his 80s. We age not by years, but by events and our emotional reactions to them. Faith, courage, interest, and optimism bring us new life and more life. Futility, pessimism, frustration, living in the past are not only characteristic of, quote, old age, but they contribute to it. Time is always on the side of the achiever. And the affirmation for today: age is only a number, not my outlook on life. I will live today by my inner clock and worry less about age. Did it get you? Did it hit you? Did it hit you with
Let me tell you what I did. It's because
what?
I'm thinking, I forgot, who you said did the quote. I'm like, as you're reading, I'm like, oh, this must be a man who didn't have menopause. So I go back up. Oh no, it's Josephine. Josephine must not have had menopause. That's all I'm gonna say. That's
Maybe
all I'm gonna say.
she was removed from it. She's too
Yeah,
far
I'm like,
removed from
okay, this person didn't experience menopause. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to do, but that was my natural thought. Like, okay, this is a man.
it. I felt something hit you. I was like, oh, let me, I
But it
can't
is
let
a man. It's Dr. Dennis Kimbro. He wrote the passage.
that
Oh, okay, ladies, y'all help me out there with the menopause, because mm.
one. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I guess you just told me what you thought about
Yeah,
it. You said,
that's
say it
why I was
again.
like, who is this right here? I mean, I get it, but but I also understand what my body is doing. No, I don't understand it. I'm experiencing it. So,
Yeah,
whew, okay.
you know, one of the speaking of age and just the in this season podcast, there's something interesting that I figured out being married. And I thought I would have known this being raised, the majority of my life with mainly just you know what I mean? Of course my dad down in Florida. Um was that men, our timetable is very linear. Our experience is very linear. But a woman, her experience is in phases like the moon. That's why, they call, you have moon cycles, and women call, to get too personal, but they call it their cycles. They're all cycles of the lunar moon, and its pull, its gravitational pull, and a woman's what do you call it? Like on being on that same clock, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And that same rhythm, that same celestial rhythm almost. And so women go through phases every single month, cycles every single month. Whereas a man, we just kind of move in a simple slope. So and that helps me with I won't say dealing with women, but just recognizing the differences that she's just in a different phase right now. Her
Every
age.
day, and I don't know if it's monthly. I think we do it daily by the second sometimes. So I agree with men. Like, we are like, what do you? I don't know what you want. I'm just gonna say, because I don't know what I want. So just know that I don't know what I want, and you can't know, but I want you to know. So,
Right, right. So I just
but
I
I
just
do
I
get
realized that.
this because and it reminded me of this lady who's like 70 something, and she came in for an apartment, and all of our one bedrooms on the third floor. And so, I just assumed she wouldn't want the one bedroom because it was on the third floor. And she was so feisty, and she was like, well, Tammy, why wouldn't I want to be on the third floor? And she was just as spunky, and she took it, and she would walk those stairs. And here we have people who come in who are approaching the age where, we say we're getting old, and they'll be like, oh no. So it's almost like we expect there is a stigma around growing old, and at this age you won't be able to do this, and so I think we buy into it. I know I know me, probably most women, we start to look in the mirror, and especially during the menopause, it has affected me in ways that I just never thought, and I've been going through it for a very, very long time. But I didn't expect it. I didn't. I can say that I didn't expect it. But with the age thing, we limit ourselves. I do see where we start to think, okay, I can't do this. I won't be able to do this. And then sometimes we bring those things on, bring those things in our lives rather than keeping moving. Like the lady, she did those stairs. She had her truck, 70, big old truck. She had lost her husband. And so she drove his truck, but she would walk up and down those stairs like a 20-year-old. And like I said, then I'll have people young that come in and it's like, no, I don't want to do the stairs. And I'll say, well, it's good exercise for you. No, I don't want to do the stairs. So, it all goes back to the way you think, the mind, and your perception of what growing old looks like, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. I think it's interesting that in this day and time, I think in the last year or two, the prior to the last year or two, the life expectancy of Americans was growing. It's getting later and later, meaning like they were getting older and older, and the expectation to live um, was getting further and further until about what I think 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. Now the life expectancy is actually decreasing, so we're actually going backwards now again, which tells me a lot that we have maybe exceeded the bounds of what was best for us, and we've now become excessive to a point that it harms us. So the life expectancy of human beings, of Americans right now, is less than it was the year before, and less than it was the year before that. Whereas for a while, with modernity and technology helping people, and medical advances, people were able to live longer and longer and longer. And now, despite having the most technology that we may have ever had, um, that technology isn't serving us in the same way, because maybe we're capitalizing on it, and looking to make more money, as opposed to um, cure the ills of humanity. So I just think it's interesting that in the last couple of years, the life expectancy has gone down as we look at this passage about age. When will it ever end, right? And what is it? You could look at it two ways. I'm very appreciative of you, Mom, when you were talking about the two sides of the same coin
Hmm.
the other day, right? Where we replaced the word lack with abundance. We replaced the word fear with expectation. And when I read this title, it says, "When will it ever end?" And I'm thinking, you could be thinking about life. When will life ever end? Does it ever end? Or are you saying youth? When will youth ever end? So I want to know what you think about that title. When you see that, after reading the passage, reading the affirmation, what do you think about that title?
I initially thought that it was going to that we were going to be talking about like the things that we go through. Like when will I stop having to go through? I thought it was going to be about life challenges, the challenges of life and things like that. That's where I thought about. That's where I thought it was going to take us. Definitely
Mm-hmm.
not here. I didn't think
Mm-hmm.
about age um, from the title
Oh,
or
okay.
the fountain of youth. I did not think about that, and I'm still trying to make it applicable to when will it ever end. The secret to the fountain of youth is to think youthful thoughts.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, I'm
how do
still.
you think youthful thoughts, right?
Hmm?
So how do you think youthful thoughts?
I guess it would go back to like what I'm saying about the lady with she didn't see her age. It wasn't
Mm,
her focus was not on her age. I could tell that, and I've used her as an example to many as I'm showing the units and I talk about the third floor. I use her because it's just a memorable moment and it was a memorable moment for me. But again, I don't the youthful thoughts is when you don't think the aging thoughts. Like, oh, I'm 55, I'm 60, I should not take the stairs, I should not do this. I'm always amazed when I see an elderly person that will get up and drive like out of town. I'm just in awe about it and I love it. So I guess the youthful thoughts is continuing to do what you love to do in spite of your age.
yeah, I think to piggyback on that, I think youthful thoughts. The first word I think was creativity, right, in the passage. And so,
Yes.
if you're able to create, then that is sponsoring life. Like, create life in itself is creative. It has to be created, right, or propagated in some way. And so I think by I think it was a creative thought for that lady to say, "Oh no, it's cool. I can take the stairs." Even if she has an issue with her left knee, maybe she puts more weight on her right knee. This is creativity, right? This is
Mhm.
there may be a million ways, and I tell people this when I'm meeting with them or consulting them in any kind of way, or a group of people and we're all heading towards one goal. I notice that people love to diagnose the problem in meetings that are supposed to be solution oriented, right? They love to spend the majority of the meeting diagnosing the problem. And I often say, there are a million ways that this cannot work, but all we need is the one way or a one way that it does work. And our job as thought leaders, our job as intellectuals, our job as impassioned individuals who are seeking a common goal is to find that one way. That's probably many ways, but at least one of those ways to make this work. And to me, that is creativity, not succumbing, like you said, that woman, that the elderly woman who didn't succumb to the perception of her age
Mhm.
and the limitations that ensue from that,
Mhm.
but instead she made up in her own mind that no, I'm able to do this. And so when you think,
Mm.
when you're creative and you think like a child, in a sense, youthful thoughts, I'm reminded of the mental alchemy of the young man that was throwing the ball up and saying strike one, and he tried to, he said, I'm the best hitter in the world, and he'd throw the ball up and swing and miss it and say strike one, and he throw it up and he pause and think about it for a little bit, and he throw it up again and he swings strike two, and he pause a little bit longer, start looking at his bat, and he throws it up again and says strike three. What a heck, what a heck of a pitcher. And
Yeah.
he's like, I'm not the greatest. Maybe I'm the greatest pitcher in the world or something like that.
Yeah.
So he went from being the batter to the pitcher, depending on what his success was. That's creativity.
Yeah.
That's the mind of a child. That we don't have it all figured out, right? But that there's endless possibilities to explain my human experience. And I think that's what we're all trying to do, right? We're trying to put words to the thoughts, emotions, feelings, sentiments
Mm.
of our lives, of our experience. We're trying to put flesh on, or we're trying to put bone to the soul. We're trying to put flesh to the bones, right? And then clothes on the flesh. We know that we're here. We're just trying to explain it
Hmm.
in some kind of way. You know what I mean?
Brandon, you know what? It makes me also think about two things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, where the Bible speaks about being childlike but not childish. And childlike would be those, I think, youthful thoughts, because children are, if we would let them be, man, they are the wonders of the world because they are the most free of the things of the world at that point. Like
Mm.
they don't see danger. It's so much that they don't see. It reminds me, Brandon, I need to share something with you. But also think about how we get when we see, and I'm gonna use dancing because I love to dance, so that's just what I'm gonna do use. But think about what we think when we see an elderly person, because we have many videos that float around social media where we'll see an elderly person every now and then that's cutting loose, dancing, dancing up, doing the thing with dancing. But we'll be like, oh man, we'll be so excited or whatever about seeing them do it. But why? Because of their age, they think, oh, that he or she should not be able to move like this. Or maybe we think they shouldn't do this because of their age. Think about the limitations that we put on people and on ourselves as it relates to age, and those youthful thoughts. I'm going to do some digging today on youthful thoughts. And I'm going to post something out there that gives us a bit more detail about that.
I like the last line of the passage. Time is always on the side of the achiever. The
Mm,
achiever. If you look at it, I've heard that old adage that from elderly people that are still working even after their retirement, they're like,
mm,
I got to do something. I need to work. I
yeah.
think about my
I
own
need to move.
grandfather who's been working for I don't know how many years,
Same place since before I was born.
Yeah, he's been
And
working
he
at the
keeps
same
saying every
place.
year, I'm going to retire. I'm going to retire. It had gotten to the point I'm trying to plan a retirement party, and he, he still has not. So he's been working at the same place. I'm 55. He's been working at the same place, and he says, "For what? What am I going to do?" You
Right,
know.
right.
So
And the thing is like he's so respected there that he pretty much does what he wants.
yes.
He's in his 70s. He says, I just go there, do my thing, and I leave. I think about my great grandmother who worked for Levi's for how many years? She
Oh, I
retired there.
can't even remember. So many.
I mean, more years than I am years old, for sure.
Yeah. Right.
Probably
For
double.
sure. For sure.
So, I mean, just to see this type of creativity, because it takes creativity to work somewhere 50 years and to still maintain some level of happiness, joy, some level of like
Brandon. And you know
get
what?
up and
I've
go.
never heard my grandmother, who retired from Levi's, and while she's doing this, you guys, she cleaned houses as well. She had one in particular that she cleaned for almost all of her life. I've never heard my grandmother say she was tired
And,
ever. And
and,
I'm
and
talking
this
about
is a woman who has
neither my
17 children.
17 kids, 17 children. I've never heard her say one day. Now, this is before she, no microwave. She cooked every day. This is the same woman who I said would feed everybody. Anybody walking, hey, Miss B, go in and get you something to eat, baby. I cook every day,
Yeah.
every day. Got up and went to work, cooked, took care of her 10 children and kids and everybody else every day. I've never heard her say, I'm tired. Same with my father. I've never heard my father say, I'm tired. And he goes and goes and does and does. I've never heard him say, I'm tired. Think about how often we say, I think saying I'm tired has become a habit. It's just something we say, kind of like I love you, We
Yeah,
just
and
have
it's
to say that.
self-fulfilling.
But
It's
yeah,
self-fulfilling. Like we
self-fulfilling.
have to
Yeah.
we have to remember what we're saying to ourselves, that we're speaking to an echo chamber inside of ourselves. It's just going to keep reverberating back and forth inside of our head. If you say I am tired, your body will manifest, tiredness.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying be fake or anything like that. Like if you're dead tired, go to sleep. But you ain't got to talk about it and complain about it to everyone. One thing that I do hate in people, I completely despise this. I despise complainers.
Because you
I
could say,
despise
I'm going to get some rest rather than I'm tired.
exactly.
Say, I'm going to get some rest tonight. I'm going to rest today rather than I'm
Exactly.
tired. Yeah.
There's two things that really annoy me. People that will say the word I a lot in a
Hmm.
two conversation, and people that complain while saying I a lot. So
Hmm.
it's really an egotistical way of having a conversation with the disguise of, you know I've got it worse kind of thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like this pissing contest of who has it worse. I hate those conversations, man. I'm like, get me out of here. Okay, that's not the type of energy or vibe that I need around me. So I like to be creative with my days. If you give me lemons, I'll make lemonade. There's always a way to make it work, and I like to move on that faith. And to be creative is a obviously, according to this book and other studies that I mentioned earlier, to be creative and to be youthful in your thoughts is and to be active and looking to achieve certain goals is a benefit to your health. It's a benefit to your health. So be creative, not just with your job, with your family, with yourself, with your career, with your outlook on life. When's the last time you picked up a pencil and just sketched something? When's the last time you drew a picture? When's the last time you wrote a poem? When's the last time you threw paint on a wall? When's the last time you did something creative? When's the last time you
Let's
did
watch a
something and it
sunrise or a sunset. Look at the moon. Take a walk. Did you write the narrative yesterday that we talked about of your
ooh,
life? Did you write your story? What did you do? What have you done since it's 20? We're 20 days in, and Brandon, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm so sorry. We're
oh,
20 days in. What have you done with this information that you've received? The motivation that you are receiving. What have you done with it? What are you going to do with it? Did you order the book? I can't say
Mm,
that enough. Because if you don't order it, maybe, and perhaps if you haven't ordered it within these 20 days, and let me remind you, we are not getting anything off of you ordering the book other
right,
than the satisfaction of knowing that you are going to be as blessed as we are. So
right.
what are you doing? What are your thoughts? Are they youthful? Are they old? Are they conformative? Are they conforming to the ways of the world and what the world tells you you will be at 55, 65, 70? Because
I,
tell me your story and I'll tell you someone who's beat the odds. Back over to you, Brandon.
right, right. I think we're complacent. I think we
Mm-hmm.
get comfortable. I think I think the lifestyle that is promoted in America, in the perspective and the lens by which we take in information and experience life, is pursuant of leisure, is pursuant of comfort, is pursuant of materialism. So we want things to try to fulfill. We want temporary things to fulfill these eternal experiences. These eternal um, I don't know these eternal attributes about ourselves. We try to fill those and feed those with temporary things, right? And so I think when you go for something that's already there, it's like giving my kids a toy that is a digital toy, like that's a screen. It really blocks their creativity because they're being fed so much information and influence about what's this and what's that. Whereas I find that my children act better throughout the day when they don't touch any technology. When I give them a stick, I give them some dirt, I give them some wooden toys, or I give them some random pieces of paper and say, okay, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of random stuff here, do something with it. Imagine. And they end up having the best day
Mm-hmm.
because they're
Mm-hmm.
able to create. So, what I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
ask you guys to do today is to remember that age is nothing but a number. As we close out, age is nothing but a number, and you can live by your inner clock. But if it is an inner clock that you're going to live by, then you have to set the hour, and the time is now. So,
Yeah.
set your inner clock. Set your inner clock and keep up with it. Be creative and go out there and create something. Draw a picture today. Write a poem today. Write a letter to somebody that you ain't talked to in a long time. Don't just call them and send them a text message. Go write. You send them a text message. Ask them their address if you don't have it. Just write them a letter. Do something different and create some newness in your life, some novelty in your life. Don't do the same mundane thing and expect yourself to grow and not get old and die because that's what's starting to happen in this world now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are rushing towards our death. A comfortable a life pursuing comfort and leisure only leads to death because you stop moving, you become lethargic, you're a couch potato, and if you don't move it, you lose it. So be creative, go out there and create something, work for it, and go achieve something because it's a benefit not only to your now, it's a benefit to your tomorrow and your life. So as we close out, guys, I'm gonna do the same thing that we do every
Hey,
time when we end it.
hey, Brandon, I want to give
Hmm.
a shout out. I think we've touched base with everyone else. I put those
Yeah, yeah.
comments on the screen, but we have my boy Memphis Viz Raps. I want to give a shout out to him. Drop your link in the
What up?
comment section. Yeah, I know it's so good to see him on, y'all. That's my other son, although he doesn't call me or say hi or anything anymore.
But you know that's my
Um,
cousin, right? Ain't that crazy?
but
That's my
yeah,
cousin.
yeah.
That's my real cousin.
Love you, Liz. Love you. Good to
I
see
didn't
you
find
out
out he
there.
was my cousin until like 2 years ago.
Yeah, you got to hit us up. Come see us.
Yeah, man.
Dr. Hunt says, thanks for the inspiration to create or to be creative. So thank you guys. We're short for time, so I won't go through all of those again, but thank you for tuning in. Be creative today. Go back and listen to some of the former shows, but more than anything, get the book. So if we stop, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay. Get the book. That's for you, not for us. Get the book. And don't come here every day and just be here. Don't just stand there in your life. Do something. That was one of the ones we talked about a few days ago. Don't just stand there. Do something. Over to you,
Do
Brandon,
something.
as we close out.
Do something. All right, Mom. I appreciate you for being um, a great host, and thanks for bringing me in and bringing all these people together. We love you, we appreciate you, we uplift you, and we give you your flowers right now. And I hope you have a beautiful day, and I hope everybody else goes out there, challenge themselves to be creative, and come back and let us know what you created. Maybe post what you drew, post what you wrote, anything like that. We would love to see it, or let us know how this impacted your day. So we'll end it the same way we do every day, by reading the affirmation 3 times, one for me, one for you, and one for the person that you're going to send this to. And I'll jump right into it. Age is only a number, not my outlook on life. I will live today by my inner clock and worry less about age. Age is only a number, not
Not
my outlook on life. I will live today by my inner clock and worry less about my age. So don't worry about your age. Worry about the time that you're spending here. Worry about the quality of time, not the number of time, because you can't control the number of time, but you can control the quality of time. And that quality is largely dependent on the way that you process and push out information, the way that you see yourself, the talks you have with yourself, and the thoughts that you have. So have creative thoughts, have youthful thoughts, have thoughts that are meant to grow like seeds, not thoughts that are meant to die. Don't plant it on barren ground, guys. Well, if you don't, like Ernestine just reiterated, if you don't move it, you lose it. If you don't move your mind to a new place and it's stationary, it becomes stagnant. It ferments and you will lose it. Dementia, mental illness, all these different things. Be creative, guys. Be creative. Go out there. So I'll read it one more time because we only did it 2. No, I did not forget. So for the last time, as age is only a number,
age,
it's
one
not
number,
my
not
outlook on life.
my outlook on life.
I will live
I will live
today
today
by my inner
by my
clock
inner clock
and worry less
and worry
about age.
less about my age.
All right, y'all be blessed. Stay
Peace.
youthful out there, and we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, right here. It's B with the beautiful and lovely and amazing, incredible butterfly with the
Mm.
celebration of Black history by reading Motivations for African American Success by Dennis Kimbro. Get the book and get back here tomorrow. We love y'all.
Love
Peace.
y'all. Peace.